let me go back to something. I want to read 3 scriptures before I leave it. In chapter 1 Timothy chapter 6:15. Verse, that's 1 Timothy 16 verse 15. I want to show you something that belongs. Please hear me. There is something the Lord told me yesterday, and I say it to the boss when we're going home. Now, please hear me. Every destiny has its revelation. So don't even learn things that doesn't concern you. There are so many books to buy. Don't buy books you don't need. A lot of messages are there online. Don't listen to things you don't need. Don't commit your Christian life to prayer, except to use prayer to force purpose. He said, for he. Can I see it? He said,
only had immortality.
No, 15.
Which in his time.
Please. His there, which in his, the his in a circle is a spirit, is an incarnate spirit, is God in incarnation. God in universal nature does not speak. God in universal nature does not have destiny. God as a universal spirit cannot rule. Don't turn it. So when the Bible says, which in his only potentate, it's talking about a particular spirit called God, who is Lion of Judah. It's not general spirit. You know, God incarnated his son. He's not talking about his son here. He's talking about God who incarnated himself in oath. So an incarnate form of God is an oath form. Write on your paper. I say an incarnate form of God is an oath form. Can I tell somebody something? If you're looking at me now, if I tell you to stand up now, that way you are is your oath form. That means there are things you can't do very well, and there are things you can do very well. That way you are is a form of oath. So oath is not something you take, it's a being. I said oath is not something. No, oath is not something you take. It's a nature you have. So that particular nature of God made him King of Kings and Lord of Lords, made him immortal. The immortality that dwells is a nature. Jesus, the Son of God, doesn't have that nature. He has a nature of life. But the Lion of Judah has a nature of immortality. It's a nature. That is why don't fight people's nature. If you're a young man, you want to marry a girl or a man you love the way she is, who she is, not what she will become. Because her nature is the oath of her existence. It's also an ordinance. It controls how God relates with him. In chapter 19:11, that I am saying that people are carrying bait up and down. If carrying bait up and down in the hand is deep, it's not even my word that can stop you. Because that form is an oath. Huh? It's the oath of your nature. I say it's the oath of your nature. In 1911, the Bible says heaven opened and somebody came with an oath of a nature upon a horse. And he has ability of an oath to be angry. So in 16 is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I want to show you that. I saw heaven open and behold a white horse.
And he
that sat upon it was what?
Called faithful and true. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
Now, a white horse and somebody on it. That is oath of a form. In that oath of a form that God commit destiny. God give vision. God gives assignment. Oath of a form is unchangeable. So oath is not something that we take. It's a form of life. The spirit in you is made in oath. That is why you are inspired from inside. When I was talking about the ancient papyrus, there is something I didn't tell you about why it is written in Aramaic. Please let me tell you something you don't know. Aramaic of that papyrus is not the language of God. It's Chaldean. But the vessel through which God, it is a language of the vessels through which God communicated it. It's a language of a people that understand God that way. So God uses their language to introduce himself. So each time God wants to talk to you, he used Aramaic. Something like Aramaic, sometimes some people call it Arabic writing. It's Aramaic. He used that thing. It is not that it's a writing of God, no. It is a writing of people that God uses. It's a human writing. Because God uses what man has to declare himself. And then he recognizes those. When God uses what people have, he honors the people that have it. He honors the people that have it. That is why in the description of the Aramaic, that is Aramaic of the Judah. It's not that God is a Jew, but the Jews have life to introduce God. Please, whatever you have, keep. Your destiny is tied to it. One of the ways to know your destiny is through what you have. Your ability. Your ability point to what you can be. All the days of my life, I've never trifled with my ability. Because God cannot give me destiny outside it. If I have a form that represents an oath, then why will I die? When God met me by 6, he showed me 2 things that represent immortality. Number 1, immortality. We have a life, a nature of living that sustains a life. And then number 2, it has brightness. I saw these 2 as an emblem around the chair of God. Can I make this clear? Can I make something clear? If you are gifted in a way, or you have a nature, it is possible you drift from that nature once in a while. It's possible. Drifting from it does not mean it's not your nature. Even when you drift from it, it's still a nature. It's still your nature. And God does not care too much about drifting. Because you drifted only like 2%. The 98 is still with you of the original life that God gave destiny. Next 2 weeks you can drift 1.5 or 2, but the original life is there. If I were you, if I want to do anything like marriage, do anything with partnership, I must care about the original life. The one a man will never lose. A lion might try to eat something that is dead, like a vulture or an eagle. A lion will never accept the vulture's life. I mean an eagle. A lion will never live like a pussycat. There's a consciousness of royalty. I said there is a consciousness of royalty. That animal will never accept to be less than royal. Meanwhile, it's there in the thought. You might call the lion pride. Is a lion afraid of being called a proud animal? How can someone that is royal and ferocious be low? It's not possible. So how can immortality lack boldness? That this service ended and I was smiling. And I was now. And why can't you know that smiling is not my major nature? Now my original nature is that I'm always I am always angry. Even when I'm smiling, I'm still angry. You see, because I cannot have two natures. That is why vengeance, I will be smiling and I'm not reducing weight. I don't look cranky, but you see, I'm about to stop preaching now. I've been burning and I'm not reducing. Can't you see it? Now, if I listen, I can preach from now till 3 days and I'll still be like this. Because that is a nature. I said that is yeah, it's a nature. I'm that way. I'm stern. And that is where God built the covenant of life and immortality. Don't think I'm talking about myself. That is where he built it. And then somebody who likes the covenant should look at that character and know that the character of that covenant cannot be two. It can't be two. You cannot say, after all, I'm not shepherd. You are not shepherd, but you want immortality. It is my character that God built immortality on. Not that one you're trying to have. Your own is not good enough for immortality. It's good enough for you, not for immortality. Oh, you are a loving father that loves your children. Wonderful. You're a gracious mother. Too much. It's encouraging. Now, but don't forget that that is not immortality. Is it clear? That means if you want immortality, you should forget that one and follow the one that has the foundation of immortality. Church, is it clear? That life in itself is an oath. Chapter 10:1. Revelation.
And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire.
The rainbow on the head of that angel is a spirit of oath for preservation. It's a nature. I said this. Not, I take an oath. I take an oath. No. I take an oath. Let me explain something to you that you don't know. If Samson hair, the dreadlock of the Nazarite in Samson was shaved, and Samson didn't go blind, and then maybe after shaving the hair of Samson, Delilah didn't remove the eyes, or the Philistine didn't remove the eyes of Samson, the spirit of a judge, of a Nazarite in Samson will grow up another hair. And that's what happened before Samson died. They have already blinded eyes of Samson, incarcerated him. Then the hair grew. Then the spirit of Samson grew hair. I want to help you with something before I leave it now. I'm about to leave it. The spirit of Samson grew hair. Now, it was not the weakness of Samson hanging around Delilah that was the problem. It was that Samson was bad. It was not that Samson was hanging around with Delilah. Samson was hanging around with Delilah for a long time. And Samson was still killing the Philistines. He will kill the Philistines and take Delilah home and lie down with Delilah on the same bed. I was hanging around Delilah and he didn't lose his power. I want the church to be intelligent. They now shave the hair of Samson, which is the dreadlock that represents the strength of the Samson spirit. And then Samson became powerless. And then incarcerated, and the hair grew up. And the power returned. Because the power and the oath of a Nazarite is in the spirit of Samson. Immortality is in a spirit. Immortality is a spirit in a man. It's a spirit of an oath. It's a spirit that persuades a man to behave in a way. I think I have explained it. Have I explained it? So don't even think the spirit is more important than what you see physically. But no spirit betrays itself. No. And let me make bold to tell somebody. Let me make bold. No spirit loses its support. There are things I don't beg God. As long as that spirit is in me, I will get it from God. The spirit in me gets it from God. There's a life I don't struggle to live. It's a life of the spirit in me. I'm about to go to the last and stop. Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? Don't trifle with revealing your peculiarity. That is the character of your spirit. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Jehovah. Hallelujah. What I'm about to tell you is my last, and that is the crown of all I want to say this morning. There is oath of poverty for immortality. I have not told you this secret. Please, if you're sleeping now, wake up. You know you have to wake up because I'm about to serve communion. Even if you didn't wake up now, you still wake up. So just wake. Just try and wake. You cannot eat communion sleeping. This thing I'm about to say is one of the things God told me in the morning yesterday. Now, immortality involves oath of poverty. Locust Army, I have not explained it the way I'm about to explain it to you. Oath of poverty is not the same thing as being poor. It's not the same thing. The Lord explained to me yesterday very well, more than any other time in my life. When he said there is oath of poverty, he's not saying that you should be poor. God is existing in heaven under the oath of poverty because he's the creator of all things. Ability of God to create all things hinges on the oath of poverty. I see the capacity of God to create all things, to be the word through which all things are created.